Happy Devil's Thursday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report. Episode 432, titled The Ahhhhh Meadowlands. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Yeah, baby. We're talking about the Ahhhhh Meadowlands, Shorts Guy.
Yes, we are.
Guy's my special guest. Special guest. Had a little technical challenge in the beginning of this podcast, but we're up.
What else is new?
Yeah.
I think this is my first time on the Woo Report that I can remember.
Really? I thought you've been on before.
I don't know if I have or not.
No, you have. You have.
I have? Okay.
Yeah, I probably dragged you into a couple, I don't know. Was it PK Subban? Was that considered Woo Report? Was that breaking news? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I really don't remember. It's been so long at this point. I mean, you're on Woo Report 432. It's I don't know. I've been on so many podcasts. It's wild at this point. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
We're what they call professionals.
Well, sort of.
No, we're not. We're unprofessionals.
No.
If anything, we're unprofessionals.
Well, we're professional unprofessionals at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, should we let the cat out of the bag? We're going to announce a few things here.
Yeah, this is an important one to be listening to live right now, like live, because you're going to get some pretty good information that you're going to want to know, information that you can only get right here, right now, and information that is relevant to many people's interests.
I was talking about something else.
What were you? What was the other thing you were talking about?
I don't know. Were we supposed to announce it?
We can announce whatever you want to announce, Sam. There's a couple things we can announce.
But it'd be embarrassing if we announced it and it just was the same old results.
I know. Why don't we announce that last at the end?
Last?
Maybe you can get that.
Yeah.
We'll announce that at the end, as long as it's worth announcing, and maybe you can have a certain clip up and ready to go if you can find it while we're pontificating about other announcements.
All right. So the Ahhhh Meadowlands. JoinOurCrew.com. Yes, go. JoinOurCrew.com. If you haven't yet, sign up, because this is the way we're going to communicate on game day. But also we're going to communicate right now about our tailgate, because people have asked me, are you guys having a tailgate? We're kind of going under the radar with it, because planning this whole tailgate, let me tell you something. In the last 6 months, Shorts Guy, and you can attest to it.
Oh, I know. We've been doing this since the summer.
Complicated as because you really need an attorney to really figure this one out, how to throw a party. And there's a lot of rules, regulations. We don't want this to be the end of the Let's Go Devils podcast, because we did something stupid just for having a little fun. But we found a spot.
Yes,
Should we start there? We found a spot, and we scouted.
Can start there.
Yeah, we scouted.
Oh, we did. We sure did.
Yeah, we scouted the parking lot last Sunday. We went to every single part. I even counted the porta potties. They were all closed, but.
They were closed, and they were pinned up.
Yeah.
But we did our due diligence on a rainy Sunday morning because we had to.
Yeah. So we found a parking lot, and it checks all the boxes for the podcast.
It does.
One of the things we had to take into consideration, our fans, but also our guests. We're going to have special guests on the podcast. We haven't announced who's going to be on the podcast, but we have some special guests that are coming that would need a clear path from the press entrance to our tailgate. We don't want our guests to be gallivanting around for 25 minutes trying to find us in the parking lot. That was part of the thing.
It was. And And along with that, we want to make sure that they have clear line of sight access to us, because our guests, people are going to want to stop and say, "Hey, it's so and so. Let's take a selfie, and can you sign this?" Like, we need to make sure that they're able to get to from their entrance to where we are with the least amount of stoppages.
Yeah. So, and it brought back old memories when we were going through the parking lot,
It did.
because everything's been reconfigured. Because when the Devils left and we left, Giant Stadium was still on the other side. Now Giant Stadium has been knocked down. Now it's MetLife Stadium. So some of the configuration is different.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, that checked off the spot we picked, checked off the box, our guess. The second thing, it's called internet. Because when you have 80,000 people converging in one area, from a technical standpoint, since we're live streaming this podcast, we actually had to search for cell towers. And we spotted a few of them. Short Sky. We did testing, all that kind of stuff. This spot checks off the box, right?
Yeah, it does.
So that's that. Aside from the porta potties, we're bringing a big stage. Well, if you're bringing a big stage to the parking lot, there are certain rules and regulations we have to follow. And we found that spot that checks off where we can have a big stage, so we can have our guests on the big stage, so you can watch at our tailgate. And when I mean our, I'm not just talking the podcast. Your tailgate can be part of our tailgate, because this is what this whole thing is about. And we put a lot of thought into this, because we didn't want this to be something that's like so over commercialized. No, this is tailgating, folks. This is going to be like a community. It's going to be me eating off of your grill, your ribs, and then I'll offer up my hot dog or my hamburger or my Sam salad to you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is we want to have it essentially like it used to be when the Devils were winning cups at the Meadowlands.
Yeah,
we want that old atmosphere, because Sam, for those of our listeners, new, old, Sam and I go way back to the post lockout season as partial ticket holders, and Sam was a full ticket holder. I was a partial, and we used to tailgate right at the foot of that the cattle crossing bridge, and there were wild times in that parking lot. And that's where we spent a lot of our time. I mean, that parking lot, that Giant Stadium side parking lot, go all the way back to 95 when I was there watching the Devils win the Cup with my dad. Like, just all of that time in that parking lot, having a good time. This is going to be like a full circle style moment for us, because we're going back to where it all began. And
also,
not only are we doing that, Sam, we're going back to where it all began, and we're bringing our legions of fans with us, and we're bringing the most commented Devils podcast of all time to that parking lot.
On top of that, it's also about the camera view, because we have cameras, and this checks off the box again. We have MetLife Stadium and the old Brendan Byrne Arena in the background as well. So maybe I'm starting to give the clues. Where are we going to be doing this tailgate, right? Yeah. And also, we need a place where our fans can gather around and watch the podcast live. And also kind of be like on an island on our own, but still within walking distance of MetLife Stadium where you need to be. And we found the spot. It turns out, and we will have an email blast on joinourcrew.com about which entrance, the best entrance to go through, because there are many different entrances.
That's how much research we did. We looked
at
the entrances and the egress points and the entrance points.
Yes. Yes. And also the escaping points. So when you leave, you've got a path out that's not bad to leave MetLife Stadium, and you're not stuck in 3 hours worth of traffic trying to get out.
Because you're not
You know, the Flyers fans, they're all going Turnpike South. They don't know where they're going.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, there's no traffic if you hang out and have beers after the game.
Yeah. And Crew Brew, which we'll have and Crew Brew. By the way.
You know what, Sam? Post game, I'll chug a beer with Max.
Yeah. Yeah.
Post game chugs with Max.
Yeah. And Paul Marino will be at our tailgate. We've said this
he will.
many times. He's going to give out pocket cookies. And he's also
so wrong.
Also,
so wrong.
Oh, it's going to be nice and warm on a cold day. Paul Marino's pocket cookies. I'm going to try to bring the Submarino, which is a 6-foot-long sub.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Wu gave that idea, and I started pricing them out today, calling different places. Could you give me a 6-foot Submarino for the tailgate for us and our fans? Also the And Crew Brew, which I'm actually going to meet up with Brian tomorrow. Brian of Departed Souls in Jersey City tomorrow. He and I are going to have a little powwow and discussion about
his
this
new
tailgate.
brewery.
Yeah.
By the way, his new tap room, which he just redid.
Yeah, which we're going to hold a lot of events here because the Governor Murphy and the state legislature, they all changed the rules. So there's going to be events there. We're just trying to digest right now what this all means.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And Ted says Towers of And Crew Brew. So And Crew Brew is going to be there. Paul Marino is going to be there with pocket cookies. The Submarino. Paul Marino is also going to throw footballs to you, the fans, and I'll do a football call live in the parking lot, which this spot that we picked actually checks it off because there is a spot that we actually found an end zone, you know, and a possible place where we could put the goalposts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Max can hit a 60-yard field goal in this spot. I think there's room. When you say, hopefully Max is an accurate kicker before he hits a car.
Yeah, no, there's definitely room. We did our due diligence and we picked. I'm gonna say we picked a hell of a spot.
I see Mike Heiler in the Facebook Live, who we used to tailgate with.
Nice.
He's talking about, remember A23 back in the Continental side,
the old configuration. Yeah.
So I think we should announce where we're going to be, or should I drag it on and keep them in suspense?
Well, let's see. How else can we drag it on?
Well, it checks off all the boxes. So let's go back to all the – yeah. So you got the view. It's close to the press box entrance. You know, they have to go up 6 stories, so they have to get there quickly. So eventually – so it had to be convenient. It had to be a good spot. We even found the entrance to get to the spot. We tried 5 different routes. And narrowed it to one.
All over the place.
And what we found out is you got to pass Bada Bing to get to that entrance, which I happen to, you know, if that's a Sopranos reference. That's what actually happened on Sunday morning. I'm like, all right, I got to find Shorts Guy, and what the heck? and then I had to make a jug handle U-turn to go back on Route 17 and go to Plaza A. Well,
you didn't have to. So you took the biggest roundabout way to get there.
Well,
and then I had to find you.
There was a big
car
accident. There was a big car accident, and they were blocking that exit.
I don't know
Remember?
what that was. That exit. Yeah, we couldn't get in that exit.
Yeah,
entrance, whatever it is.
But I had to pass Bada Bing. That's all I know. And then I'm on 17. You take Plaza A. Near the Meadowlands racetrack, so that's the landmark, folks. We try to make it. That's another thing that checks off the box. It's more than just a lot number. It's where do we find the podcast? Go to the Meadowlands racetrack. Go to the racetrack. Yes. That is the biggest landmark, right? That's the biggest landmark.
Gamble too.
Yeah.
You get cold. You walk over there. You gamble a little bit.
You could gamble. You can win some money. You can share it with the podcast afterwards. You know, cash is king.
Super chats from the racetrack.
Yeah, like if you make $1,000 off of a horse, you can super chat us $500. Let us know.
$2 high odds trifecta.
Whatever that is. Yeah, whatever that is.
It's betting on the horses, Sam. It's betting on the horses is what it is.
So let's give out our lot number right now. Do we have a drum roll?
Let's do it.
Can you hear that? Not really. Sounds like something. All right.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
All right. Actually, do I have a drum beat here? Hold on.
Oh, God.
Or should we try another one? And then I got another one. Oh, I like that one.
I like that one. That one's better.
All right. I promise you, we're gonna announce where we're gonna be. The suspense.
Yeah.
Before we announce it, you got to go to joinourcrew.com because we'll have all the details and information about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Now to our announcement. Our tailgate will be in lot M is in Martin, M2. M2. That's where we'll be. That's the spot. However, there is a disclaimer here. That's where we're projected to be because on game day, the security could be jerks and move us somewhere else. So we don't know yet, but we're looking at M2. M2.
M2.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad you put that disclaimer, Sam, because I know that, just because the league has given us almost no information. It has given nobody, not even employees within Giant Stadium, information. So
your James
we're going
Dolan
on
internet.
Damn.
It's okay. But go ahead. Don't let me interrupt you.
No, the disclaimer is good because we're doing this and we're trying to pick the best spot that we can do, and we think we found it. And as long as that spot's there when we get there, but fear not, because we've picked some backup places too. But that's why you want to go to joinourcrew.com, because that's where you're going to get the latest and greatest information. If we have to pull an audible, and if we call an audible, we're gonna let everybody know. But right now, M2 is the spot. And joinourcrew.com, we will confirm and or let you know about the new location on game day. So really, if you want that up to the minute, as soon as we know, information, joinourcrew.com is the place to be.
Yeah. Ardenaz is asking is making a comment, which is a legitimate comment. Ardenaz says, I thought you were going to be right by the cattle bridge. That was our second choice. Mm-hmm. When we looked at that spot, which we looked at, there were things that it didn't check off the box that we didn't like. Number one, where do we park our big stage? There's limited parking there. Even if we go in early, they may not allow us to park in a designated spot near the cattle bridge where we can do the podcast. So that's number one. Number two, it's all about the cellular network. There is a big cell tower there, but when that's the most populated area of that stadium, where we may not even get a cell signal because everybody's going to be jamming on the towers, checking their emails from joinourcrew.com. And no, I'm just kidding about that. But so it was number 2 on our list. We looked at it, and it just seemed like to get there from one of the entrances may be a pain in the butt, even for all of our fans. That I don't think you would be able to park there by the time you get there.
And you don't know where they're going to direct you when you get in there. Like, we don't know how parking is going to be. We don't know how the parking direction is going to be.
Yeah.
You may say, "Oh, I want to go to the right to that." Nope, got to go this way. Got to go this way. But got to go this way. you, there's a couple variables there where the spot that we've picked in M2, if you go into that, at least for right now, if you go into that Plaza A entrance, it should be a pretty easy access point. And I can tell all our fans this is that, Sam, you and I and everyone that's going to be in our vehicles is going to be at Plaza A as early as possible that morning.
Yeah. And also, we're going to ask you, the fans, as well, and we'll figure out a reward. That if you get there before we do, please hold the spot. Hold the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Hold the spot, because we're actually trailering in the big stage where we're going to do the podcast. So it's very important that we get where we get that tailgating sidewalk spot where we've got the view of MetLife Stadium. We've got the old Brendan Byrne. You can sort of see the American Dream Mall, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just trying to hype it up, Shorts guy.
Yeah, I know. I just American Dream.
And then you've got the Meadowlands racetrack. That's the landmark. And plus, I got the cell tower, a line of sight. So it checks all the boxes. Max believes it's 2 o'clock when it opens, 6 hours prior. This is going by Jets, Giants, MetLife, but it is an NHL event. So there's no guarantees when they're going to open, okay? If they were smart, they would open at 8 a.m., but they're not. So, because
we've seen plenty of examples of the league not being smart in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So with that said, Shorts guy and I are going to be one of the first in line to get in, and we're going to get there as early as possible to get to those spots. And then as soon as we get to those spots, we're going to be setting up for the podcast. We are going to have special guests stopping by for the podcast. They know about them. They've been asking even us, where are we going to be that day? And the truth is, we told them, we have no clue. The NHL hasn't told MetLife Stadium. And I had one of our guests say, oh, the NHL not telling anybody anything? Oh, that's news to me.
I heard it. I heard that. I heard it. He called it the old NHL, if I'm not mistaken.
Call it the old NHL.
That sounds like the old NHL.
Yeah. And he's a good friend of the podcast. Not going to reveal who said that, but good friend of the podcast who will be making an appearance on the podcast. So what do we have here? Okay. Now we just talked about, where we're going to be, because we're talking about the old Meadowlands. So we got to do it like how we used to, right? So we're going to have live music. What's the live music? Well, we have a professional that just happens to be part of the Let's Go Dolls podcast. And his name is Scotty, a Sirius XM Liquid Metal. And he is going to be DJing live music, the music you want to hear from Scotty, a Sirius XM Liquid Metal, in the parking lot. So, and if Scotty wants to hang out with the fans and not spin records or whatever you call it, you'll also listen to my iPod from 2006 playlist, which has tremendous amount of songs that we used to play in the parking lot in 2006 and before. Before a Devils game, when we used to tailgate, when we used to get in at 3:45 p.m. so we didn't have to pay the $10 parking fee, and then tailgated.
You got there before 5. If you got there before, you had to get there before 5. That was the race. You had to get there before 5, so you had to.
And you got all the beers with you. You lather, and then the meals we had in the parking lot. Yes.
We've got some old traditions we have to resurrect for this tailgate specifically.
Yeah.
Like there are some old things we used to do. Might we have to replicate the burning Messier jersey?
Yeah. We may have to do that. So yeah. So we're gonna have live music. We're gonna have food there. We're bringing our own food. We're not. I know we looked in the professionally catering part. Again, it's just there's a lot of legalities here that we just don't want to cross. There's a lot of gray areas, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But no one's going to stop us from the 6-foot submarino, the hot dogs, hamburgers that Scotty's going to cook up while he's DJing. We'll put him to work. Scotty, do this. Scotty, do that. Scotty, do this. Scotty, do that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, also we're going to have some shenanigans as well. That's what we do.
Always.
Yeah. Also, just like we had the big stage outside, Devils Rangers playoffs, Devils Carolina series. Remember, in the middle of Edison Place, the same big stage is going to be there at the Meadowlands. Parking lot M2. M is in Marty.
M2.
Yes.
M2.
Yep. Yeah. And it's going to be a great time because we're going to do, there are times in the past 10 years, Shorts Guy, where we're like, remember back in the day at the old Continental, what we used to do? We get to relive those memories.
Well, hopefully not all of them. There's a couple we need to leave behind in the past.
Like rolling the tires in the parking lot and watching it hit a charcoal grill, and then the tires on fire, still going. Do you remember? Who was it that was leaving their old tires in the parking lot? We're rolling them.
I forget who that was.
Or maybe we shouldn't say anything because I remember one of the tires hit I think it was during Christmas time, and I think somebody was burning their Christmas tree down, and then it's and the tire just went right through it, and then the tire caught on fire. And it was still rolling in the parking lot, and instead of us trying to stop it, we're all like, "Go, go, 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 go!"
We were so stupid.
I know.
We were so stupid.
See some new people: Paige and Addie, Andy A. in the YouTube Live. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Let's Go to Devils. Even on Facebook Live at Let's Go to Devils Podcast. And
go to joinourcrew.com.
Yeah, joinourcrew.com. And Mike Kyler said Lot M, the Pepsi gate of MetLife Stadium. Yes, Lot M.
Mm-hmm.
M2. Mike, I hope to see you there. It's been a long time. Been a long time since we tailgated. But I know Mike has got a lot of friends, but hopefully you can come to our tailgate. There's all other fan tailgates as well. But the spot we picked was, I think it was the best find as well. And we hope to see you there. Because, I'll tell you what, we had so many memories in that parking lot playing hockey. But I did read the rules. It says no ball playing. Did you read that? In the rules? I was like, are you kidding me?
Those rules are suggestions.
We
can play some ball hockey in the parking lot.
But we'll have our Ant Crew Brew. I hope to see you there, Tom, Ted, in the YouTube Live. I hope to see Max. Corbin, is Benji still around? We will win the cup. I hope to see Benji, hopefully,
that would be great.
wherever Benji is, and trying to think. I mean, the Meadowlands, boy.
I'm excited.
I feel like I'm going to be a little kid again,
it's
for that
just,
day.
I'm expecting that day to be a 20-hour day.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a 20-hour ultra marathon, but I'm excited and ready for it.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if you understood let the bodies hit the floor. Yeah, that's in my 2006 iPod, Drowning Pool. That's right, Zach. But I will say, Shorts Guy, I showed you that diagram. My vehicle will have a built-in generator
Mm-hmm.
that can actually power a small house, which will power our set. So we
I
got
love
the
it.
power, we got the internet. I'm bringing the Starlink, bringing all the good stuff because we're going to stream this out. And some of the guests that I've heard that Nick Villano is trying to get, and I've gotten a couple guests already. These are big time guests. These are not like little people. These are not, some blogger of some site that we've never heard of before. No. We're talking about A-list.
Name brand people.
Yes. Yep.
And even just people we asked to just come and hang out, that people are going to want to say, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so. Oh my gosh. Like, they're here at this tailgate? Of course they are, because there's people that we asked to come and just hang out because they said they're available. So we said, come on by. And they were very excited to hear that we were doing something. And they were very enthusiastic to try to get there and hang out.
Yeah, and again, it's Max says spill the beans. Max, I spill the beans to you sometimes. Anyway.
We'll spill the beans when we get closer, Max. But then again, you got to leave something. You got to leave something as a surprise. We got to leave. We can't. We got to leave people wanting to show up and see what's there. There's an element of surprise we have to keep.
Yeah, and also we're working with people's schedules. Anybody that covers the Devils, we have to work by their schedule as well. So we're going to get there early. We're going to do the podcast. We're going to be playing music. We're going to have a fun tailgate. I like to come to your tailgate. I like to walk down the aisles and be like, hey, what's on your grill? Maybe we'll do a bit like that. What's on your grill? And then we, hey, do you think we could get Chico out and maybe do Chico Eats out there? We could do that.
That would be fantastic. Hey, you know what, though? If we get Chico out there to do Chico Eats, people better be grilling and having some tailgate foods there for them.
Yeah.
So if we can get Chico out there, let's get some good tailgate food going out there. Let's get some ribs. Let's get some burgers. Let's get some whatever you can come up with on that tailgate grill. Let's get it going out there. And we've had a lot of good stuff at some of our tailgates, Sam. Even in Newark, even our tailgates in Newark, we've had some good stuff in those parking lots.
Nate Dendo Wee says, any memories, super chat. Thank you, Nate. Any memories of non-Devils teams at CAA like Nets, Red Dogs, Storm, Rock and Rollers, etc.?
Yes, the Rock and Rollers.
Yep.
Yes.
Lyle Wild Goose. Remember him on the Rock and Rollers? Yes.
I was there for the first game that Mono and Rayum played for the Rock and Rollers.
I was there too. We
couldn't.
And was it during the Rangers Vancouver series?
It wasn't. No, it was in the summer.
It was summer.
Yeah, it was summer.
No. I went to the first game. I went to the first ever game. The series was still going on. I think it was 3-2 at that point. And I remember Ranger fans and Vancouver fans. There was actually one Vancouver fan that was just going at it. Maybe it's not the one Rayon was playing.
No.
You guys can keep on guessing. Nate's trying to guess. Also, I went to the Nets Eastern Conference Finals. Remember in 2003, both teams made it far. They both.
I went to one Nets game when I was playing middle school basketball, and I was sitting in the stands.
Was it
I
Easter
have no.
Seals playing?
All I know is I'm sitting there. I think I was talking to my dad next to me, and next thing I look, I'm like, "Oh, the game started? When did the game start?" I had no idea the game. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No to basketball.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Nate says, I wish I could have gone to a New Jersey Storm game. They may have subbed, but I heard the atmosphere was amazing. I mean, the Metro Stars played at Giant Stadium. I remember that.
Yes, they did. They started. Yeah, Metro Stars started at Giant Stadium. up
Yep.
until 2010. 2010, I think, is when RBA opens.
One of my favorite times was at a soccer match, a friendly. Remember that? Were you there, Shorts guy? When I was the only one in the Man U section cheering for
No,
AC Milan. You
you're
weren't.
you're a brave man for going into a visiting supporter section in the
Yeah.
opposite team's jerseys.
I
There, Sam, no joke, no joke. There was a game over the weekend in England, and the I forget who the two teams were. It was Wolves and someone else, but they were visiting supporters. There were opposite team supporters. I can't remember if it was visiting in the home section or whatever. They were visiting. There were supporters of the opposite team in the one supporter section. They had to stop the game because of how much of a melee that started in the stands. Like, I give you credit. Like, would I
this is
try
what
something
happened.
that's stupid? Potentially, yes.
This is what happened. So originally, I was going. I was going to get some Man U stuff for that game,
Ugh,
and
I'm glad you
and
didn't. You're awful.
well, I stopped into a soccer shop in Morristown, and it just so happens that the AC Milan coach was there.
Mhm.
So I was like, no, 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 no. So I bought AC Milan stuff, right? So I know nothing. I know nothing about AC Milan, but I became a fan because the coach was cool, right? Very nice.
Yeah.
They gave me a discount on the uniform, all that AC Milan. So I started, I'm in that section, and I'm with my friends that with those tickets. They were all Man U. Like if you remember Ollie or Ed, you
Mhm.
remember Ed,
Mhm.
and
I
then
do.
JJ, and then Hans. It was all Man U fans. And I'm the only AC Milan, and I'm making up my own chants. And my chant was, AC, AC, AC Milan, AC Milan, and I'm holding up my scarf and everything. And I got yelled at by someone. Hey, this is a friendly here, And then, but my good friends all got up and went after that guy to tell him to shut up. He can sing all he wants. And I kept
Yeah,
on doing it, and he knew that there was nothing he'd do because I came up with I had backup that day,
yeah. No,
at Giant
I
Stadium.
give you credit. I mean, like, I've been in those shifty situations at away matches, and but yeah, like, I would, if I was going into another supporter section wearing my team's colors, I would want to make sure that I had someone with me, because you are asked or you are made to leave. It depends on just how you go, but you're not going to stay there long.
Gotcha. Max, I got your text. That's a great idea, but we're going to be beating in people's heads about M2. This is the formal, informal announcement. M2, Marty 2.
Right next to section L is M, for sort of like for Marty Lynn.
Yes, my cousin Marty.
Your cousin
My
Marty.
cousin Marty that wears the goalie gear inside the arena. Anyway, I found that newspaper from the New York Times. That's why
that wasn't what? No. Oh, that's what you sent us today?
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to actually read all the way through it.
Yeah, you should do that. But yes,
I'll have to go back to the text and read it.
M2, Marty 2.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't remember that, just go to joinourcrew.com, sign up, and we'll help you remember that as well. As we tell you at the old Meadowlands on February 17th, which will be a day that we'll never forget.
It should be a day that'll live in infamy.
Yes. I forgot that.
Devils fan. Oh, come on, Sam. But then again, I'm the history nerd, so of course I'm going to.
And what are we going to do with these Flyer fans? I mean, they bring their trailers too. I mean,
you know what? If they're cool, we'll let them come hang out. I know I have a friend that's a Flyer fan that last I spoke to him, he said he was going to try to come up. So I have to I have to reach out to him in the next couple of weeks. I thought I'd see him beforehand, but it doesn't look like that way. So I'll have to reach out to him, see if he's going to show up. And, I'm personally going to invite him if he wants to come over, if he brings some Flyer fan friends, as long as they're cool. I'm cool with that.
You know what, right now, I mean, usually these outdoor games is celebration of hockey.
Yes.
So,
it's not a regular, it's, so that's the thing, though. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be celebration of hockey. You're correct. These are going to be a massive 2 points. It's going to be a 4-point game, and we've said that before on Game Day Live and the Big Show. But this game is going to be a 4-point game. Like, this game is going to have meaning, and we're really going to need. Both teams are really going to need these points, but we're really going to need them more than the Flyers. But it's going to be a massive game.
Yeah. There's a lot on the line, and we'll talk about that, at the tailgate. And I just can't wait to just park, settle in, and just have a great time. The music is going to be pumping. We're going to have the podcast. I've seen some of the people like Max saying Bryce Salvador, Danico could be our guest. Ted says Martin Brodeur could be our guest. Erica, possibly. Anybody's a possibility. That's all we're going to say right now. Those are all in the running. That's all in the running.
All on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's one that's going to surprise people. I don't think I've told you yet.
I was going to say, is it who you were speaking to on Sunday, but I guess not.
No.
Wow.
No. Here, I'll text you.
All right, text it to me. I'm curious.
While people are guessing, it could happen. It might happen.
That would be wild.
Which would be absolutely insane. Now, I just texted to you.
Whoa!
Pretty insane, right?
That would be incredible. That would be
almost impossible, but it could be possible.
That would be so. If that was the case, like, I would absolutely need to take a picture and be like, send it to my parents. Be like, look who I'm standing next to.
Yeah,
like, that would be so wild, so wild.
And when he gets on that big stage, I expect the crowd to be roaring. Because otherwise, we look like a bunch of idiots if we brought this guest out for no reason.
I know.
We look like total morons. Like, you're taking me to an empty parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely want, podcast aside, Sam, we really want all our fans to come out and tailgate with us just because we want a chance to hang out with everyone at such a massively big event for the Devils.
Yes.
That's really the big thing, is we want an opportunity just to hang out with everyone, say thank you for listening to the show, say thank you for always supporting us, saying thank you for making us the most commented Devils podcast in the history of Devils podcast, say thank you for all of the downloads over all of the years. That's really the big deal. But then to be there when we get, this potential big guest and all the other ones that we have in the works, just, you know what? That's what you get for being a fan and a loyal supporter of our podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And can't wait to see those new jerseys out in the parking lot if you can get them in time.
I'm working on mine. I am working on getting mine.
Yeah.
I'm working multiple angles to get one for me. But it's a matter of getting the numbering, too.
But can you imagine the amount of guests that we could possibly get that day?
We're in the right spot for it.
Yeah. Because there's a clear path. And maybe some of those guests will be actually hanging out with us more than the podcast. Possibly.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like some of the guests which we've spoken to just want to come and hang out.
Yeah,
which that's wild in itself, as far as I'm concerned.
Amazing.
It's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's been circled on the calendar for a long time. We've been working on this since it was. Actually, we had a little bit of inside information, of which we had the date before it was announced, and our conversations about what we were going to do started right from that moment.
Yep.
So this is a long time coming with this prep. You know, we've done all the due diligence that we could. We're setting up everything. We have contingency plans. Should our A number one spot, like we have a 1A and a 1B spot ready to go. This has been a lot of work, and it's going to be a lot of fun to be there. And I think one of the things that we have to remember, Sam, is we have to step back and enjoy it. And we want to enjoy it with all the fans. That's the big thing. We want to just enjoy it with everyone there.
Absolutely. Well, Shorts Guy, I want to thank all those tuning in to this podcast. Remember, M2 is the parking lot. M2. M is in Marty, the number 2. And if you can't remember that, go to joinourcrew.com, sign up, put your name, email, phone number, whatnot. We'll have a blast, on that day, confirming where we're going to be. But right now, we're going to be at the Meadowlands Racetrack, M2. That's where we're going to be. And we'll even put some, in the email blast, kind of like how to get there. It's through Plaza A entrance. And so you don't want to go to the other ones because you're going to be driving in circles in traffic just to even get to the lot. So there's no reason for that.
You know what, Sam? Let's even throw this out there. If we're going to use Plaza A to get in, why don't we just have a tailgate at Plaza A while we're waiting for it to open? Like
yes,
we could do some pre-tailgate chugs, Max and I, at Plaza A.
Yeah, we could do a podcast before the podcast at Plaza A while we're waiting.
The podcast before the podcast.
Yeah. Be like, this is Beer Baron and I. We're like a bunch of dopes sitting at the gates that hasn't opened yet. But yeah. So Paul Marino will be there. He's going to be hanging out. But that's all we can really say at this point. Not because we haven't, it's just, it's got to be a tease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting Woo report. Shorts Guy, thank you for jumping on.
You're welcome. A real long Woo report. Long one.
Dropping the podcast at midnight. Remember, joinourcrew.com for more information forthcoming. But M2, yes, M is in Marty, the number 2. And join our tailgate, join our crew. We're going to have the Ant Crew Brew. We're going to have some food there. Bring some of yours to our tailgate. We'll bring some of ours to your tailgate. Just hang out. That's what it's all about. None of this commercialized. None of this commercialized crap where you have to charge for tickets. Don't believe in it. Or should I have said that? Whoops. Anyway.
Time to go.
Till next time, this is the Woo Report. Let's go, Devils.